This is the Hard Parking Podcast, presented by NSX Channel on Instagram, your number one source of NSX content. I am your host, Jay Finning. Welcome back to the show. If this is your first time listening, welcome to the show. I do things a little differently. This is the non-automotive podcast, which basically gives me the freedom to do whatever I want. For those of you that fall in love with my opening speeches, this episode, I don't have anything super deep like I usually do. It's a more fun, loose episode. There is no technical rental car of the week. There is no Builder's Corner segment. I will tell you that I did just drive a Honda HR-V for a week, and I'm putting together a really fun video where I trade in my car for this Honda HR-V, and then I have to return the car. So I'll let you guys know when that is posted up on YouTube. The Infiniti QX60 video that I did, that I talked about like 3 episodes ago or whatever, is finally on YouTube, so you might want to go and check that out. I'd appreciate it. That's Hard Parking Podcast on YouTube. So recently on social media, I put up a poll, or I put up a forum and told people, hey, I need you to submit some answers for me. And so we're talking about what a stereotypical chick car is and a stereotypical chick drink. And there's a couple people who got kind of a little offended. And interestingly enough, they were the males who chimed in. A couple of guys that felt that was a very sexist thing to do, and how they don't see any car for being a chick car or a guy car. It's just a car. And one thing I would say to those people is relax. Just relax. If you're a male, you don't get to tell all the women what offends you, which should offend them first. And by the way, there are millions of women out there who will say, that's a girly car. That's a girly drink. You're going to cry like a little girl. So get over it. There's certain things in society that we just can't take too serious. And that's one of them. You're allowed to have things in jest. You're allowed to joke around a little bit. And generally, people have fun with it. So you have a chick car. Now, your hardcore car girl, woman who's into the cars and all that kind of stuff, they're what you call an outlier. And even they will submit and laugh about chick drinks and chick cars. But I want to take something else really light. So last month, we went to like a little cabin rental with a few other couples and stuff. Drove by a Denny's and I saw a sign that said, limited edition value meals, $2, $4, $6, $8. And I was confused because when I see limited edition, that tells me there's some collectability to it. I don't think anyone's out there collecting value meals, right? It seems like it would just say for a limited time only, limited edition. So I'm going to trade you my $4 value meal that I got in Payson, Arizona for that really hard to collect limited drop quantity from Washington, D.C. We're trading value meals here because they're so collectible. These are limited edition meals from Denny's. $2, $4, $6, $8 value meals, limited edition. Collectability. Collect yours now. Kind of silly, right? Coming up, chick cars, chick drinks, and Q&A with a special guest, Bob Marshall from the Bob Chat Podcast. So Alex and Jen, you guys are well-traveled, extremely well-rounded individuals, and I didn't want anybody on here who's too much of an expert one way or the other. Jen, I don't think you pay attention or care about cars at all, but you have a barometer on things. And Alex, you sneaky smart with cars, but you both know alcohol.
That's fair.
So what we're going to talk about today is I polled a bunch of people on social media, and I said, think of a stereotypical chick car and think of a stereotypical chick drink. So, and one of the things I did when I tabulated the data today is actually I spent a lot more time on the cars than I did the drinks. So what are some chick cars you guys have noticed? Alex, what do you associate with a chick car?
Well, back in the day, a chick car was like a Pontiac Grand Am, like a Sunfire, something like that.
So Jen, what did you want for your first car? And then what did you have if you had a car through high school and college, like what did you have?
So I had a lovely Chevy Corsica.
That was my those.
Sweet whip. It was clean as a whistle, just so you know, tinted windows, all that good stuff. And what I wanted was probably, I don't know, I feel like at that time everybody wanted to have like a Pontiac for some reason, like Alex was saying, a Grand Am or a Grand Prix for some reason, or just like anything that had a cool feature to it. Like I had a friend who had a Jeep and I thought that was pretty cool, or like a convertible. So something like that.
A convertible. Yeah. And Alex, you talked about the Grand Am, and I completely forgot. And we're all a little more old school. We're not old people. But one of the first things I realized when I moved to Michigan is this is like the Grand Am capital of the world, because all I saw were Grand Ams and Grand Prix and Sunfires, because my wife wanted a Sunfire and they were complete little pieces of crap. Total chick car.
I love that you said Sunfire, because I totally had a friend who had one of those.
They're everywhere. So I polled 162 people, or 162 people submitted responses on chick vehicles, right? And of the 162, 15% came back with Volkswagen Beetle, and 9% came back with Jetta. And then the next highest was Mini Cooper at 6. Seems like everybody had a Beetle or a Jetta. You didn't ever want a Jetta?
Yeah, Jettas were pretty popular. Yeah. I think in Michigan, growing up in Michigan, the results were probably a little bit skewed because we were so close to Detroit.
Right.
And we had lots of American-made cars everywhere, which is probably why it was like Pontiacville, USA.
I was just going to say, I definitely wouldn't have been mad at getting a Jetta back in the day, because I think that was looked at as a pretty good, it looked like it was a pretty good car to have as like a high school or early college car, but it didn't have anything that was like unique to it, which is, I think, is where that Beetle or, that convertible or Jeep would come in. I think that people were looking for something a little bit different in what they had than just a typical sedan.
So I'm thinking the mid 2000s, the early 2000s, the Jetta was kind of like the value Audi A4 maybe. And like the young business professional woman or girl, I guess.
Yeah. You wouldn't be embarrassed if you had a Jetta and you had to ride to work or somebody noticed. You definitely wouldn't have been embarrassed.
You'd be this hot chick in a Jetta. So one of the women that I talked to, she had responded, most women, by the way, and I'm going to embarrass my wife here because she doesn't listen to the podcast as much as she should, which means she rarely ever listens at all. But I remember when I took her out and we went to test drive, I promised her I'd get her an Audi. Okay, so this is somewhere around 2008, 2009. And we went to this place. So I'm going to alienate 90% of the crowd here, because we went to the place on Division, which you guys know is in Grand Rapids. And there's an Audi dealership on South Division. So we went there and we're test driving. She wanted a Dolphin Blue Audi A4, which is and we were pulling out crossing the street, and she was trying to figure out how to drive, and she was making a left-hand turn on I think 54th. And I was like, they're honking at you, because she was turning really slow. And her response was, that's right, they're honking at a girl in an Audi. I was like, oh, shit.
That's hilarious.
All right. Like you were saying, you wouldn't be ashamed to be seen in a car like that. On the board, it said...
fair, though,
yeah,
people honk a lot in Grand Rapids.
They do. But do you agree with most women want something that they can get in, turn a key, and go?
Is that like a trick question?
That's a quote.
I mean, you want to get... I feel like you want to get from point A to point B for sure.
Something low maintenance.
Right.
Yeah, I think for women, safety is important, or low maintenance.
I think the thing about the Volkswagen is the Jetta is it's you get the benefit of the German auto engineering, which is, most of the time superb, but in sort of a Spartan package where it's kind of no thrills. There's not a lot to worry about. So it's kind of a good all-arounder for...
why? Why are these chick cars? So we got the Beetle, the Jetta, the Mini Cooper, the Fiat, the Mazda Miata, which I know a lot of guys with Miatas, but I remember when they first came out in the early 90s, total chick car. Is it like you were saying? Is it because they're cute?
Chick car.
Yeah, it is. But the Miatas are great cars, though. Now, I mean, they're once they came out as autocross giants, the guys started sucking them up, and they started putting LS swaps in the old ones. But is it the fact that they're cute? They're not, this overpowered V8.
I think it's definitely cuteness factor. Some cars have personality, right? And if you look at a Mini Cooper, it's just not a masculine looking car. It's shapeful, it's round, it's soft, it's got soft edges, the lines are softer. It's just not very masculine, where I would never buy a Mini Cooper. I would also never buy a Camaro. But like, if you look at like a modern Camaro, hard edges, angles, very boxy. It looks muscular. Just kind of like a pretty good contrast to a Mini Cooper. So I think looking at like why you would call something like a chick car or a girl car definitely has to do with like a cuteness factor or like softness of features and stuff.
Like an Econo box, right? Your wife, your daughter, this business professional who wants a car, she doesn't want to get into something and have to hit the gas and peel out because traditionally, stereotypically, women can't handle the power of a V8. Maybe that's the deal because guys, right? That's the thing, right? Because guys, we have a fascination with
baiting me here.
No, but like, no, I'm not. But guys, we have a fascination with pickup trucks, right? So every pickup truck that rides your ass on the highway, it's some fucking dude who's got his cruise control set on 90, speed limit 68, and you got to get the hell over or get ran over.
Or it could be a chick with like a Fox sticker in the window or something. I mean, depends on where you live, I guess. And to be honest, the only person I knew who had a Mini Cooper was a guy back in the day who was obsessed with it. And I told him it was the lamest car just because it wasn't my speed. But he swore by this thing. I mean, he was like, check out my car. And I was like, no.
You know what's funny?
I mean, I guess it's hard to say.
Yeah.
Mini Coopers are interesting because they have there's like a cult following too. So like, although it's kind of a girl car, same thing with Miatas. I think Miatas fall into that category too. It's like, I think of it as a girl car. Like I can fit in a Mini Cooper. I couldn't drive a Miata if I tried. Like you couldn't cram me into a Miata with a shoehorn. I just don't fit in them. So to me, it's still a girl car because I don't fit. But
you would fit.
I think.
You know why you would fit
I've tried
in the new Miatas because I have a friend Hire who's like 6'4", and he looks like Mario Kart in the car, but he has a Miata.
Really?
Well, Alex has an inch on him. You're 6'5", right?
Maybe he's 6'5". He towers over me.
I would smoke the wheels in a Miata. You know what I'm saying? But like maybe with like sunglasses on and some tinted windows or something.
So, Jen, like you were saying, if I were to see 20 Mini Coopers out on the road, I'd have to say at least 75% of them are being driven by dudes as well.
Right.
Yes.
I feel like dudes are into like the dudes who are really into the British, whatever.
Yeah.
Mini Cooper mobile. I'm just not like, that wasn't my personal style, but he was like going on and on about the stats. I mean, this guy was in love with this car. He thought this was going to like win my heart. And it did like the exact
Hey,
opposite.
baby, look what I got.
No. Yeah.
Ever seen The Italian Job? That's what's up.
I don't know. I feel like, to me, like it's a chick car because for various reasons, like a quote unquote chick car, I should say. But I think sometimes it's like we were saying, that extra feature of making it unique or different because a girl, might want to stand out back in the day. So whether that be like that convertible or that Jeep or whatever it is, otherwise safety, I think, is a big thing, which a lot of people now are like, oh yeah, girls are always driving those hybrid cars and things like that. They want like safety and good fuel economy and that type of thing. And then otherwise, I feel like it's pretty generic because the difference is, while the girls might want to stand out with like that one feature, they're not necessarily trying to stand out with the power or, those stats that like a typical male would necessarily be looking at in a car.
Yeah, because I think for us, a lot of times it's like a bravado thing, right? So girls want to be like, I have a cute, got the cute purse, got the cute this, got the cute car with my cute friends. We're going to go to the mall real cute like, right? And the guys want to be like, yeah, check out my ride. I'm just going to, like the Mustang guy, right? The V8 Mustang guy always wants you to know he's there, even when you're not looking.
That's so true.
That was another car I was going to talk about back in the day that everybody wanted too, whether it was a girl or a guy. It seemed like everybody wanted a Mustang for a period of time in like maybe the late 90s, early 2000s.
So the Mustang came in at number 8 with 6 votes, but they were very specific at the old 4-cylinder or the V6 Mustangs. Yeah. Although I know,
agreed.
Being in the car world down here, I know a ton of girls that have some of the cars on this list, or some of the cars that you think would be guy cars, like the V8 Mustang, the Hellcat, all those types of the Camaros.
Like super into car girls?
Yeah, they're car girls for sure.
Yeah, I was gonna say
exactly.
I think like all bets are off when you're in when you're in the scene,
Yeah.
I think all bets are off.
Cargo was
Agreed.
standing. Yeah. Because you would just want something nice and cute.
Well, that and like you feel like you have to be knowledgeable and more, you know what I mean, and be able to compete with what a guy would have to be able to be part of that community. So it wouldn't surprise me if like I wanted to be part of that community. I'd want to have like the sickest.
What would you get? What would you get? What would you get?
A pink Camaro.
I don't know. What? Yeah, right. Absolutely not.
Yeah, I can't see that.
Absolutely not. Honestly, things
She
that
has
I want
a
right
pink
now
Camaro
are
set
like,
as her background on her phone right now.
yeah, okay. I think I would want something right now. Like I'm into like a good classic, or you know, give me like a beach cruiser Bronco or something. Like I'd be into that.
That's pretty hip.
I'm super hip, Jay. Let's be real here.
It don't hang up on me, but I was trying to think. I'm like, what is? Because you've had the bikes. You know, you have a Ducati, and you had like an R1 or something.
I had an R1. Yeah.
R1, yeah. I was like, man, did Alex have a Mini Cooper? I don't know. Did he? You know?
What?
Yeah. But it doesn't sound like it.
I would be getting a divorce right now.
I said had.
No.
Well, after he was just trashing them.
I went the opposite direction. I think last car that I had when I was in Michigan was a Cadillac, like a big body DeVille.
What have you owned in the last 8 years?
In the last 8 years?
How about 15?
15 years. Okay.
And understand, like everybody listening, Alex is aware of vehicles. He's more of a bike guy. I don't consider him a hardcore car guy. I see you as somebody who wants to go.
I disagree with that, Jay. I disagree with that. Alex has 2 Ducatis right now, but he, from the entire time I've known him, has worked on cars and knows a crap ton about cars. He loves cars.
I do love cars. If I had the room, I'd probably add like an F-Type and maybe like an old 72 Nova, you know, just to go like modern and classic, or maybe like a Maserati Gran Turismo, or I think like top 3 right now would be F-Type, Gran Turismo, or like a late 2000s Aston Martin.
I don't remember you ever driving around in a complete piece of crap, but I don't ever remember you carrying that much either. But most of the memories are motorcycle, but you didn't always have that.
So the last 15 years was Cadillac DeVille. I had a Volvo 850 while I was in
that's what it was.
For a while.
The Volvo 850.
Yeah, the Volvo 850, and then it's basically been Nissans ever since.
You know, the
because
Volvo, that's kind of a family / chick car. Although I'm a fan of Volvo, but yeah.
He bought the Volvo to sell it, though. It wasn't like I love this car, I want to keep this. So I don't know. I feel like if Alex had a pole barn, he'd have a shit ton of bikes and cars. And he loves working on them. But I feel like the cars don't really represent what he would have, because also he didn't make as much money back in the day. So he kind of just had whatever he had to get.
Sure.
You agree with that, babe?
Yeah. I mean, your homie was poor.
Yeah, man. From the ghetto. The ghettos of East Grand Rapids. So I'm looking at
from the bottom.
a list of 15. This article from hotcars.com says 15 chick cars that men should never drive. Okay.
Ooh.
Okay.
There's some funny ones on here.
Okay.
14 is the Prius. I have a problem with this.
Oh gosh.
What are your guys' thoughts on the Prius?
What's the problem? I hate the Prius. I literally, like, every Uber in Seattle is a Prius, and it makes me want to die because I get car sick in it.
Right. So that's perfect, right? Because the problem with the Prius being on here is that tons more guys own Priuses, whether they buy them for economic purposes, whether they're college dudes, or they're doing Uber and Lyft. Like, I'd hardly ever see a woman in a Prius because of that. That's why I don't think it belongs.
But a lot of Ubers and people are forced to buy those cars. Like out here, you have to have a Prius if you wanted to like pick up at the airport and stuff like that. But I think a lot of people who are doing any kind of ride share gig, whether that be like a food delivery or a taxi service and things like that, drive Priuses because of the gas economy. You know, that's super economical. But I personally, as a girl, don't like Priuses, but I do understand why their key demographic might be a lady.
Yeah, and I get it. But on this list, men should never drive because it's like, for the reasons that you said, you're going to see nothing usually but men. Like probably 90% of the Priuses you're going to see on the road is going to be some dude, whether they're doing transportation, which accounts for probably 80% of it around the airport. Okay, here's Pontiac Sunfire made number 12. So we covered that earlier. Mini Cooper is on here at number 11. Smart Car made it on here, which I like smart cars. They just happened to pick one with the Hello Kitty livery all over it.
Of course they did.
Of course they did.
That point home.
The Volkswagen Bug is number 9, which is the Beetle, the current gen.
I mean, there's a flower pot in it.
It should be number 1.
Clearly, they were trying to, have women. Aside from the old Bugs, though, I feel like that's different than the new.
Yeah, it is.
Sometimes flowers just brighten up your day, though.
What they do.
Absolutely, but have you ever ridden in one? Because they're not comfortable. Not a car that you'd go, oh yeah, sweet. Give me my flowers and I'll put them in, somewhere else that I can look at them and smile.
Worked with a guy in New Jersey named John something, I don't know. But I always nicknamed him Johnny Goggles because he was a short dude. His hair was cut really low. I think he was Italian. He always told me stories. I had to work the overnight shift with him a few times. Had these big Coke bottle glasses like a mobster, and his collar was always like kind of popped. But Johnny Goggles had a black Beetle, and it was a turbo Beetle.
Okay.
And he had a body kit on it. He had a spoiler on it. He used to have this big orange racing stripe down the side.
What?
Yeah. And I asked him about it. I said, hey, Johnny. Well, he didn't know his name was Goggles, by the way. It was like the joke.
Oh, you called him Goggles behind his back.
Well, right in front of him, but he never heard. So I had to sit in front of him, too. But it's like, I say, hey, Johnny. Yeah, what's up? What's up, Jay? I say, hey, man. What's up with your car? And he'd always tell me that his brakes had to get fixed. And the brakes that they made for his Beetle, the aftermarket brakes were like no one else in the world made them. So then he gave me the specs, and I gave him literally 30 shops within a 20-mile radius that had his brakes in stock. But then he said that he got pulled over for speeding. Yeah, like seriously, he used to always laugh at him like, listen, look at this guy, In fact, I made him think that blinker fluid was kind of a thing because he kind of like a double take when we were talking about blinker fluid. He's like, blinker fluid? What? Blinker fluid?
I also feel like those cars too, they make insane sounds these days. You know how all cars have cams and, all sorts of things. Our Murano makes crazy sounds all the time and things like that. But
Murano also a chick car.
Well, hold on. A Murano is a chick car?
A Nissan Murano is a chick car.
Yeah, I think it was marketed to be.
Yep.
Why?
I can't tell you why.
It's rounder and more luxurious. That's the whole point. It's comfortable and it's got a lot of bells and whistles in it.
I think a Nissan Rogue would be maybe a chick car, but the Murano.
Murano is also a chick car. Murano is a corporate cousin to my car, which is also a chick car, my Infiniti FX35.
Yeah, that's definitely a girl car.
If I were to pull up to a corner and there were 8 of them, I'd probably be the only guy behind the wheel. There might be another guy. Number 8 is a Dodge Neon.
Oh my gosh, a Neon! I forgot about those. That is definitely a chick car. Sorry.
Yeah, that's for sure a chick car.
I had a green Dodge Neon ES, so no power anything.
Wow.
The guy who accused me of owning a Mini Cooper.
Hey, I'll own up to it. Here's the deal. So remember the story I told earlier about I told Yvette I'd get her an Audi?
Yeah.
Okay. So at the time I had a Jeep Grand Cherokee and I traded it in to get her Audi. And then I drove her Neon for 4 years until I bought my NSX. So I did my time.
You didn't buy that blue Audi though, did you?
No, it was red.
I thought she had a red one.
Yeah, it was red. Yeah. We were just test driving it in his blue.
How'd she go from wanting the Dolphin blue to owning a red one?
So we were test driving that one in Michigan, and we didn't really like it that much. The price we were holding off, and then I found the red one in Chicago, St. Charles, Illinois. So we drove down there and grabbed that one.
Nice. That's
how we ended up with the red one. Mazda Miata comes in at number 2.
I agree with that.
And then number 1, any minivan.
I do.
I don't know. I think the Beetle is ranked too low on here, though, at number 9 out of 15 when it was the number 1.
I think we should just settle on the Miata for a second, that it's definitely a girl car. It's ranked number 2 on the list.
I think we should also push up the Dodge Neon.
For sure. You want to talk about minivans? It literally says any minivan. Because here's the deal.
Sense.
I see guys in minivans, but the minivan is more of a mom-mobile. Like you're not going to...
Soccer mom.
Yeah.
For sure.
I don't think it's fair to call that like a woman, like a chick mobile when it's a mom mobile. Like, I mean,
100%.
like it's like a parent mobile.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I agree. The Chrysler Pacifica is pretty nice.
I'm not going to be caught dead driving a minivan.
So let's go to drinks.
Yeah, let's talk about drinks.
Cosmopolitan, I can kind of get that. So we talked about what makes a chick car and what isn't, just on not necessarily black and white rules, but just people's perception. I kind of have a problem with some of the stereotypical chick drinks. So Alex, you were a bartender for a hot minute. Jen, like, what is your drink? What do you like to drink when you go out traditionally?
Now I feel like I go from either a craft cocktail, like a really good cocktail. I like, anything from a gimlet to just something, good with citrus or herbs and vodka.
Something adult.
Or I just want to go totally low-cal. Like, otherwise it's just like, okay, cool. Give me a seltzer, vodka, soda, or, if we're doing wine, then we're doing wine. But I feel like I don't really venture much out of that framework.
So what is that thing because Yvette does this too, where it's like, okay, I want low-cal, so I'm going to get a Tito's and muddled fruit, or Tito's and a squirt of soda and a lime.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how much are you really, over the course of a night, are you really... or a couple of times, you should just be able to enjoy your drink. Like you were saying, your first one, like your craft cocktails.
I don't think you're not enjoying it though. Like, I mean, at this age, like maybe before when you were drinking it in like,
can I get a lemon drop
quantity? But yeah, I feel like now, like you want something sippable and where you can have conversation and, not get sick of for the night. Whereas I feel like if I have something that's way too sugary or way too dense, like I wouldn't be able to just drink beer all night or something. Like that would be way too dense for me. So I feel like if it's something sippable where you're still able to be conversational and where you're not having to like, feel super bloated or something, that's important.
So why are appletini, Cosmos, and margaritas, even mojitos, which I love mojitos. So why are those? What do you think? Do you think it's the container they serve them to you? Do you think that's a big part of it? Why they're considered chick drinks? Like, why do you guys think those are stereotypical chick drinks, even though they're not technically chick drinks? They're just drinks.
Well,
that's a really good question.
Sweetness factor, fruity.
To hide the alcohol.
Mojitos are delicious, but they're sweet, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cosmopolitan. That just sounds like a girl drink. It's, it's pink, served up in a martini glass. If you're drinking
little lemon.
If you're drinking something out of a glass with a stem on it, that's like 7 out of 10 points on the girl drink scale already.
So I was reading something that talked about, martinis being one of the most pretentious drinks out there. And I'll order a martini if I'm at a steakhouse. Usually that's my drink of choice. Is I'll either get
like a dirty
gin.
Martini.
I get a dry one. So it's either, but I'll have like blue cheese olives, and I hate olives traditionally, but martinis got me into olives. So I'll have either a gin martini or a vodka martini, depending on what kind of vodka or gin they have to offer.
I feel like a dirty martini is unisex. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like I know guys who like dirty martinis, girls who like dirty martinis. But if it comes to something super fruity, then it's more girly.
Right.
I feel like if you're drinking martini that has an olive or olives in it in public, like people can see you sitting at the bar drinking this drink, like the girly factor of the stemmed glass is completely negated by the fact that you're drinking a martini. But that's the only exception.
No, that makes sense because we're talking a traditional martini. So, there's so many teenies, like an apple teeny, right? Or a chocolate teeny or whatever the hell they're called. And it could, depending on what's in the device too, what's in the glass changes. And I think for us, or for that, it's like, okay, well, it's considered, black tie event drink type of deal. It's a James Bond type of drink.
Right.
Well, how do you feel about because I know sometimes just going to dinner with Alex, even if it's supposed to be traditionally served in a martini glass, he at times will be like, no, just put it in a normal, like in a regular cocktail glass for me. Even though he'll like it, like he would drink an espresso martini or, whatever it was, but he would prefer for it to be in a stereotypically more masculine.
Like a rocks glass?
Yeah. It also depends on the venue too.
Yeah. Just putting this out there, I'll drink anything. And sometimes at home, when I make a martini, I don't feel like whipping out the stem glass, a martini glass. So I can get down with that.
But why do you think it's like a lot of guys do that though? Like what about a stem would make it girly if in reality there's wines that are supposed to be served with stems traditionally?
I
think it's not being comfortable with who they are. Maybe some insecurities, the masculinity type of deal, which is all bullshit, of course.
I think wine's different though. I don't know. I think if you're drinking something, generally speaking, if you order a drink and it comes in a stemmed glass and it's not wine or a martini specifically.
Okay, so say a Manhattan.
I don't know. That's why I always order the old fashioned, because the Manhattan's going to come up in a stemmed glass. It's usually some kind of fancy glass and they're usually a little smaller. And like, I'm a giant dude.
You are.
And I just look silly holding a tiny little stemmed glass.
So, it's interesting you say that, because a lot of places that I go to, they're going to serve you the Manhattan and the old fashioned in the same cup. It's just the slightly different ingredients. Like one thing different.
I've never seen an old fashioned in a stemmed glass. I've often seen a Manhattan.
Yeah, I see Manhattans and old fashions in like a typical rocks glass. I've never seen, like you were saying. And I've had Manhattans in a stem glass, but most of the time it's going to come in a rocks glass. When I'm out, you guys go out a lot.
I also just prefer the ice.
Yeah, or the big cube where you can't even see the cube.
Yeah, just the single perfectly clear cube. Also like the cherries and the old fashioned, like the good cherries, not like those bullshit red maraschino things.
The Luxardo cherries.
Yeah, the Luxardo cherries, those are the good ones.
We're making you a good old fashioned when you come here, Jay.
If you order a drink and it comes in a stem glass, I think 7 out of 10 times it's probably going to be garnished with like a sprig of some herb or something and like a little slice of fruit on the side, or there's going to be some kind of float in it. They decorate those drinks to be.
Alex is a garnish hater, by the way. I don't know how he was a bartender, because he's a garnish hater.
Yeah, it's art, right? I mean, it's art. It's art.
It is art.
It's art. You brought up, Alex, the wine thing earlier, and that seems to be a big thing too. So a lot of men aren't comfortable drinking, and we're talking not sophisticated people like us fine gentlemen, but just in general, if you go somewhere, it's like, would you like a glass of wine or a beer? I'll take the beer. I don't need no fucking wine. Psst, right? And so they grab the beer, they grab their Mick Ultra or their Bud Light because they want a man's drink, right? Although that glass of wine is anywhere from 9 to 14% alcohol by volume, and that beer is like 5 to 6% at the most. So I wonder if it's like we were saying earlier, it's like it's got to put hair on your chest, it's got to be bitter, it's got to burn your throat to be a masculine drink, and anything else makes it a girly drink because it tastes good.
I think the guys that are ordering a Bud Light or a Bud Heavy or, a Michelob or something like that, whatever, they're avoiding like the refinement. Like the same guy that orders that drink would also not order an old fashioned as much as he would not order Cosmopolitan or whatever.
Do you think it's quantity too, though? Like sometimes you're just in a situation where you want to drink a lot of beer and it's something that's easy and you can just move around with it. And wine is more, it's something where it's a downer enough where you're going to be like kind of seated, kind of warm. You're not really going to be like that if you have throw back a couple Bud Lights.
But then there's also guys who are like, well, I don't want a chick drink. I don't want a glass of, especially white wine. White wine gets all the shit, right? It's okay to have red wine, but you can't have white wine. And I think there's different levels of drinking. Weird. Yeah, it's really weird. There's different levels of drinking. So I think when you think of a chick drink, if you're talking about like a lemon drop or some not high school, but 21-year-old college shit is completely different than once you start stepping up to like you were saying earlier when we started, a more refined mixed cocktail from maybe like a speakeasy place. And then from guys.
Well,
right.
I was just going to say, we're also, back in the day, it was like, what's the cheapest thing I can get that will get me where I want to go the quickest? Like the cheapest and the quickest, which is, the most disgusting, like well vodka or like well rum and Coke. Exactly.
Can you never say the cheapest and the quickest again? That was super creepy. Continue on.
The cheapest and the quickest.
What do you got for the cheapest and the quickest? There's $20. Make it quick, baby. Whereas now, we go to dinner and I could spend $15 on an old fashioned, because I want to enjoy the cocktail. I'm not necessarily looking to like go from 0 to 100 in 2.5 seconds. I just want to enjoy my drink in like maybe another one, Yeah, that's a good point. Because, you go into the bar in the club and you want to hurry up. You want to fight for room at the bar. You want to order 3 or 4 drinks for you and the crew.
Yep.
You throw them down and you dance and somebody has to go back and get more. And as older you get, you just want to relax. You trend away from the hardcore clubs and now you're all about the lounge, sit down, order the nice drinks. That's not necessarily expensive, but no 21-year-old is out there trying to sip. It's going to tell you the difference between fucking scotch and bourbon.
No.
They're going to say, yeah, I like to drink whiskey. Let me get, hey, no offense to anybody out there, but let me get a Jack and Coke. Let me get a Jack Daniel's Tennessee Honey. You guys ever had that? Boy, that shit is good. It's like, I'm good.
I feel like Alex is like a mixture of all the things we talked about right now. Like, I feel like he can definitely go like, give me the super light beer because I'm drinking all day. Or it's like, okay, cool, we're going wine tasting. I want a bunch of wine. Or give me that good cocktail. But I feel like you also can be like on the airplane, like, I want a Jack and Coke.
Sure.
I'm versatile.
All the things.
I can't be defined.
No, what it is, Alex, is it's like karate class. I thought about this as Jen was explaining it, right?
Cobra Kai. You
go in and you learn little shit, how to block and stuff. And that's the beginning of drinking, right? You're not a kung fu master from day one. As you get older, you've learned all the different styles. So, the basic style, which is the Jack and Coke. So you're comfortable ordering it because you have some advanced old-fashioned shit in your arsenal, right? That's what it is. You don't walk in with the old-fashioned. You walk in with the Bud Light, the shot of Fireball, and whatever else. That's what it is. So that's what you are. You're like the Kung Fu master. I'll tell you what. When you guys get out here, we'll do some Kung Fu master of booze because I've got some stuff. All right, I got some stuff for us to drink.
We were just talking about that. We need to go out and see your sweet bar setup.
I got 4 Glencairns so we can everybody comes to my house. I just say, okay, what do you want to drink? Put it down. We'll pour it. We'll have some. So, yeah.
That sounds lovely, sir.
I got some Seagram 7 for you, too, if you want some of that. But
I'll drink Seagram 7 and 7.
You can't. You heard about the Seagrams, lady. That's a whole nother podcast episode.
Is that on the no-fly list too?
It's on the no-fly list.
So we have Seagram.
She's just the heir, though.
Okay.
So she's the heir of the fortune. She's not the original folk, but
all the same. But so here we
need to look that up.
We have Seagrams. We have Seagrams because my dad bought it when he was here almost an exact year ago, and it's still there because I don't drink it.
That people said on
Newcastle. Hey, I went over the top ones. We don't have nothing really good. So we had, Cosmo and Appletini and Margarita, White Claw, Zima.
What's number 1?
Number 1 would be Cosmo.
Okay. That surprises me.
Okay.
Cosmo, Margarita, White Claw. And of course, White Claw is recency bias, of course. Mimosa's on here. I added mimosa. I was so disappointed that nobody said mimosa. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me right now? Bottomless mimosas?
Well, that's because they sell man-mosas now.
Yeah, but
which is so annoying. Manmosa meaning a bigger mimosa.
All right, Alex, Jen, thanks for joining to talk about these very important things, chick cars and chick drinks. Do you want these people to follow you at all in social media or no?
Alex is public.
At Alex Mia, yeah, or whatever that is.
Yeah, I'm at Simply Jonesy, but it's private.
Yeah.
But it's still okay. You can still at Simply Jonesy me.
Thanks, buddy. It was good talking to you.
Thanks,
Come
guys.
visit us soon.
I want to thank Alex and Jen Gamina for spending some time talking about chick cars and chick drinks. One of the drinks that I think we talked about, but not too much, is White Claw, because that's kind of a newer thing. There's a Scooby-Doo meme out there where it has them taking off the White Claw's mask and underneath it being really Zima, which is kind of funny. The thing about White Claw, though, is most of the time when I see White Claw, it's a guy who brings it to the party. Because here's the thing. Stuff like White Claw, Clamatas, or the Beeritas, those things are great for taking to the lake, great for on the boat, great for house parties, great for pool parties, because you can drink them all day. They have a little bit of alcohol content, so you can still get your buzz on. I mean, it's all right. I remember Zima. I thought Zima was okay. I didn't drink a lot of it, but I did not drink it. So if someone offered me a Zima, I would drink it because it tastes good. It doesn't have to taste like shit to be a man drink. In fact, a lot of mixed drinks, Sex on the Beach, a lot of those mixed female foo-foo drinks have a lot more alcohol in them than your average man drink. So think about that. Pina colada. Someone put that on here. Pina colada. I'll take a pina colada. If you like coconuts, getting caught in the rain, all about pina coladas. I wouldn't order a Cosmopolitan, not because of what's in it. It's just I like my drinks. As you get older, I think, you trend away from the super sweet stuff. So for those of you who have followed me for a while and follow me on social media, I like drinking whiskey, whether it's bourbon or scotch. I like drinking whiskeys. Some stuff on the rocks, some stuff neat, some stuff with a squirt of water. And the reason I do that is because it takes me longer to drink it. Like, I enjoy it, but if you give me a Coke, like a rum and Coke, I'll be done in like 5 seconds. And I'm always the guy everyone looks at and they say, "Holy shit, Jay, you're done already?" And I'm like, yeah. And so I found myself drinking more and more and more of those, we'll call them well drinks, the well mixed drinks, because they're just so delicious, the sweetness. So if you give me a Jack and Coke, which I'm not a big Jack, I'd rather shoot Jack. I'd rather just take a shot of Jack. But if you give me a Jack and Coke, hell, Jameson and Coke, or Jameson and ginger, that shit's going to be gone like that. And so at least if I have just Jameson on the rocks, it's going to take me longer to drink it. So instead of it taking me 90 seconds to drink it, it's going to take me a minute and a half. Coming up, Q&A segment with special guest Bob Marshall of the Bob Chat Podcast. It's time for the Q&A segment sponsored by Warriors Collection. Brings forth special characteristics that are being taken for granted. Courage, honor, integrity, loyalty, respect, and commitment. Catch up to the Warriors Collection brand on Facebook at Warriors Collection brand, or find them on Instagram, Warriors_Collection_. Today's special guest is Bob Marshall, all the way from London, Ontario. Bob is the host of the Bob Chat Podcast, one of my favorite podcasts. No better person to have as a guest for the Q&A segment because his podcast is all about Q&A and it's funny as shit. Bob, what's up, man? Welcome.
What is going on, my brother? What's up, Jay? How are you?
Any better, I'd be you. What are you drinking on? Because you're always sucking on beers and shit.
Right now, I'm enjoying a cold, delicious Busch, smooth as Mountain Stream and cold as its name.
Head for the mountains of Busch beer.
Pretty much, man. That's how we do it up in Canada, in the Great White North, eh? We like to drink beer, go fishing, hunting, all that good stuff. So what's been going on? You're down in Arizona, are you?
Yeah, I'm down in the AZ, man. Just living la vida loca, sipping on some Brook Laddick, the classic latte. I did a really shitty YouTube video doing an opening this bottle and tasting it. Except for in the video, the actual taste was literally the third time because I'd screwed up the first 2 times. So I was already like a little tipsy on an empty stomach.
Wow, I just opened this bottle and it's half gone. Who's been drinking my whiskey? It's you, Jay.
Right. If you see the video, it's missing quite a bit from the top. So
amazing. So I know it's your Q&A, and I hope you don't mind if I ask you a question first. Is that okay?
Oh no, of course, man. I mean, dude, your show is all about crazy questions, man.
What I want to know is, because I know that we have certain stereotypes of Americans, obviously, in Canada. What I want to know is, what are some Canadian stereotypes that you have heard, or that you know that people think about us, if any at all?
Everything is A, which you already dropped like 2 or 3 of those.
It's A, buddy, and guy.
A, buddy, and guy. Yep, A, buddy, and guy.
Yeah, okay, so that's a fair one. That's the true one.
There's not a lot going on outside of the city, so it's like wilderness family up there. So there's plenty of great fishing. All your police ride on horses. Are there Mounties all over the place, or is that like a specialized thing now?
They have cars. They have cars.
Damn it.
Damn it. There's literally just horse shit everywhere. It's ridiculous. You can't even drive. You can't even walk down the sidewalk. It's unbelievable. No, there are a lot of Mounties. It's more of like a ceremonial thing, I guess you would say. Sure. Like in parades and stuff like that. But no, they have cars. So but the wilderness for sure, man. There's a lot of woods. We do enjoy good fishing, good hunting, all that kind of stuff.
Well, speaking of parades, you should see our parades, man. Usually they have a bunch of people dressed up as officers, and they have like these hard foam batons, and they're just running around beating random people on the parade. It's just the fucking craziest thing.
Yeah. That sounds, is this 4th of July, or this sounds amazing?
This is actually every day.
Yeah. Thanks, Macy's.
Right. Yeah. The Macy's parade. That's the only reason why I watch parades. I know. See the beatings.
So, yeah, shit is crazy down there, man. But you know what? Things are crazy up here too. But I don't know. But the stereotypes, we don't live in igloos, by the way, if that is one that you hear. We have real houses.
No, we reserve those for the Alaskans and Santa Claus.
So those are the Canadian stereotypes. So we do say A lot. There's a lot of wilderness, but we have cars. It's great. But actually, the majority of the Canadian population lives within like 2,000 or 200 miles of the American border.
No shit.
Like we're super close, man. Like I live 2 hours away from Detroit. I fish across the Detroit River. And actually, if you can see the Chrysler building, you're gonna catch fish. So that's rule of thumb, bro. Rule of thumb. We're very Americanized, right? But it's just funny when you hear Americans talk about Canadians and they're so nice and up there in Canada, eh?
Right.
I sound like somebody from Wisconsin now.
I was gonna say, between Wisconsin and Minnesota, we have pretty good practice in the UP of Michigan.
Yeah, pretty much, right? But,
how's your healthcare? Because here we think healthcare is you just go up there and get everything done for 55 cents to nothing. Like that's not true though, right?
Now, so what you got to understand about the healthcare is that so everybody says, "Oh, you have free healthcare," but it's not like that. But we pay tax. Like, so you live in Arizona. What's your state tax? 6-7%?
No, I don't know. I'm just gonna say 8.
Because we go 8%. Okay, because we go to Florida. We have a condo in Florida, so we go to Florida frequently. Well, not now because of the coronavirus, but usually we usually go to Florida for 4th of July. Awesome time, by the way. But the state tax is like 5% there. So here we have a provincial tax because we have provinces instead of states. So we have provincial tax as well as a federal tax. So like every time I pay 15%. So every time I spend $1, I pay 15 cents in tax.
Whoa.
So so everyone says, "Oh, we have free healthcare," but we pay for it with tax, right? But I mean, in the long run, like, a normal person, hopefully you don't need to go to the hospital, that many times in your life, right? But if I break my arm, I can walk in, get a cast on, and I'm good to go. I walk out. That's it. I don't pay a dime, but I pay for it in taxes, right? So
and how many times have you broken an arm in your life?
An arm, 0. Fingers, many. Like, I'm a skateboarder, so fingers, dislocate fucking shoulder, broken fingers, broken a toe. Like it's not fun. But if I ever do break an arm, I can just, I just stroll into the emergency room. I might have to wait 6 hours, but and they'll patch you up and send you on your way. They hand you a beer on the way out.
That's it. I'm moving there. At first, I was like, I'm never moving there because I think your liquor stores close at like 3 p.m. or something, just up ridiculous. I know it's not that early, but I know this is they're like state or Providence ran, right? Our government liquor stores and they close at like 5.
So in Ontario, where I live, like in Alberta, for instance, they have
liquor and variety stores, which is like 24 hours a day, right? So in Ontario, we don't have 20, like it's all run by the province. So our liquor stores close like 9 o'clock at night.
No, it's not too bad.
And they open at 11 in the morning, but we actually, just in the last year, we've got beer and wine into grocery stores. Compared to America, dude, it's day and night. Like it's like we go down there, we go to Total Wine, which in Florida I love. And I describe to people as like the Walmart of liquor. Like it's crazy. Like it's just everything you want.
Hold on. Because Walmart, while it offers a lot of things, which by the way, liquor's one of them, we don't necessarily associate Walmart as being great, although it's a necessary evil. I love Total Wine.
Okay. It's the epitome of liquor. And I saw you made a post about Total Wine. So I have been to Total Wine. I want you to know that. It's awesome.
Let's get into some of these questions. So Slow Turbo.
Give me a question.
Slow Turbo asks, Yingling. Okay, perfect. You ever had Yingling? Yingling just announced they're going national in the U.S. Has Bob ever had it?
Yeah, so it's like a Chinese beer, is it not?
No.
Is it
it's a lager out of Pennsylvania, but you were close.
Oh, it's out of Pennsylvania. Yes. Okay, sorry. I wasn't sure. But I believe I have had that because I've had a lot of beers down there, like the Yingling, like Natural Light, like all those American beers.
This fool said Natty Light.
Have here, right?
This fool said Natty Light.
Natty Lights. Yeah, I want 30 cans of beer for $12. But I do believe I've had that though. It has like an eagle on it with like a Y on the bottle, correct?
Did you just Google
I've had that before. No, I didn't. I swear to God. I swear to God I've had that. I thought of it. And people are gonna be like, oh, Yingling, you think it's Chinese? But no, I
sounds
wasn't
Asian.
Sure. But I have it does sound Asian, right?
It sounds Asian.
Right? But no, I have had that. And so Turbo, what was his name? Turbo what?
Slow Turbo.
Slow Turbo. Yeah, I have had I've had it before, yes. And but I'm going to be honest with you, I can't remember what it tastes like. But
it's just another lager.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's good. Like, I mean, it's good. Like I've had Yingling before. I don't even know. Is it? Hey, Chris, write into the show and tell me Chris is a Slow Turbo. Yes, I don't even know if we have it here. I think we have it here. I don't know. I've had it and it's good, but when I go to the store, I'm not looking for it.
Yeah, right. It's just one of those beers. Like, I mean, and you guys have a million beers now.
I was gonna say we got a lot of beers.
You have so many beers, and I love beer. I mean, but up here, you know what I mean? Like and by the way, our beer is stronger. I want you to know that. You've heard that song. You know that song?
No, I don't know that song. I don't know any of the Canadian songs.
It's a country song. It's like
I don't listen to country.
Okay. I'm going to send you the link. It's called Stronger Beer. It's basically a country song about how you got Bryan Adams, or you got Bruce Springsteen, we got Bryan Adams, blah 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 blah, but we've got Stronger Beer. We'll talk about it later. But anyways,
okay, because that sounds terrible.
Yeah, okay. Okay, perfect.
All right, so Trays _AMG asks, at what temperature do you think too cold? I wrote this down wrong. At what temperature is it too cold to swim? Do you like to go swimming?
I do like swimming. Now now you gotta remember though that we use Celsius. We don't use Fahrenheit. So I believe 32 degrees Fahrenheit is 0 degrees Celsius. That's about my knowledge of the conversion. For me, I don't know what's like 70. What's 72 in Fahrenheit or in Celsius? I don't know the conversion.
Like, so are you? So 72 Celsius or 72 Fahrenheit?
Oh, definitely Fahrenheit. Celsius, you're burning your skin.
Yeah, you would in Fahrenheit as well. So Celsius is 22, right? So 22, so 72 degrees are Fahrenheit, as you're saying, is okay to swim. So 72 degrees outside?
Oh, okay. So is the pool heated, or you're just asking for the outside temperature?
He didn't say lake, large body of water, because you're right. The answer will vary depending on the water.
Okay. Honestly, if it was like 25 degrees outside, I'll go swimming any day. I mean, we're pretty much like we do polar bear dips. Like, you know what I mean?
So we're talking, when you say 25 degrees, you're talking Celsius, right?
Yeah, I don't
Okay,
know
so
Fahrenheit.
so that's 77 for people playing along, because I pulled up Google and I'm typing,
Yep.
I'm typing in the numbers. So
Goddamn Canada, figure it out.
So was that the first day at 77?
I mean, so we're talking like a spring day. You're like, okay, it's getting nice outside. We're gonna go swimming. I mean, but 25 degrees, man, that's a nice breezy day. Like right now, like it was 15 degrees today, and like I'm outside in a t-shirt. It was nice, you know. So
yeah, it is. Okay, so I think for me, and it's weird here, right? Because we have the Atlantic, we have the Pacific, and then we have the bodies of water north and south. I have a swimming pool, and I'm in Arizona.
Oh, you do have a swimming pool?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I
Living the dream, eh?
I average maybe 1.5 swims a year.
Really?
My entire life, I've had some sort of a pool. I've gone entire summers without getting in the water. So
why?
I don't know, man. It's just one of those things. Like when we go to San Diego, it can be 86 degrees. The water is cold, but you get used to it quicker. And as long as I can get used to the water quick, then it doesn't matter. When I lived in Michigan, it'd be 86 degrees. Lake Michigan is cold as fuck. And the temperature is always 10 degrees cooler at the water. So at that point, it's got to be like 95 degrees. It's got to be literally in the middle of the summer before I will step foot in that water. So it's got to be 88 to 96 degrees for like 3 weeks straight. Then I'll get in the water.
Jay, all you got to do is just go. Once you're waist deep, you're fine. Your body will adjust.
But no, it's that thing, right? I'm one of those people. It'll take me an hour and a half to get in the water because once it starts getting around your hips, it's just insane.
You're like, you got to take the plunge.
You do. You're right. You know, I'm standing there and I'm always like, okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. And I don't do shit. But like here in Arizona, it gets so
Just
hot.
Kidding, I'm going back to the beach.
Right. Oh, I left something at the house. Go back to the house, sit down and play in some Nintendo or something. But here at my pool, I have a party pool. So it's like 25 feet long. It's at most maybe just over 6 feet deep on the deepest end. So in the dog days of summer, you can get in at night and you can just go right in. It's almost like bathwater. It's like stale bathwater with chlorine. It's just, you go right in. And then honestly, it's not even refreshing.
If it's stale bathwater, you could probably sell that online. People are buying it like crazy.
Well, I mean, it's got the dirt ring in it, you know, kind of along the edge, just like bathwater. So
have you seen that? People buying like these chicks, like cosplay chicks, bathwater. It's like, what are you going to do with that? Yeah, have you not heard of that?
No, I haven't heard of that.
Okay. Sorry, Jay. I thought you were on the internet. Yeah, no, there's all these weirdos out there, like all these cosplay chicks. Like they're like, as soon as the pandemic hit, they're like, oh, I got an OnlyFans, or I'm selling my bath water. It's like, what is this?
Lots of OnlyFans. Haven't heard about the bath water. I think that sounds disgusting, but just for research after the show.
I'm going to look it up, see how much it costs.
I'll look into it just so I can complain about it.
Okay. Well, yeah, no, it's a thing. It's gross. There's a lot of Lord of the Rings memes about it, you know, when she gives Frodo like the light. And there's like, so it's like the cosplay chick, and she's like, here's my bathwater, and Frodo's like, well, she's like, that'll be $35.
Nice.
But speaking of movies, because if your listeners don't know, they should be listening to Bob Chat. I'm a huge movie guy. I love movies. Movies are pretty much a staple in my life. Pretty much half of my vocabulary and what I talk about is based on movies. What I want to know though, Jay, is what is your favorite movie? Because I've never asked you that, and I want to know.
I hate this question.
Why do you hate this question? Just pick one. It's tough.
No,
it's hard.
I can't pick one. I can't pick one because there's so many styles of movies, and it depends on your mood.
Okay, can I ask you a question then? Let me rephrase it.
It's my turn now.
I know. Okay, well, let me rephrase the question.
Okay.
Because you didn't give me a solid answer. Okay, instead of saying what is your favorite movie, what movie would you say has the most watchability for you? What's a movie that you're like,
rewatchable?
Okay, you're hungover, you're sitting on the couch on a Sunday, you're like, you know what, I don't know what to watch. I'm going to throw this on because I've seen it 100 times and I love it.
You know, one movie we've watched,
baby.
You know, one movie we've watched a lot lately is Just Go With It. I don't know if you've seen that movie, but I've probably seen it 65 times in the last 365.
I think so. I think I've seen it. Is it like a rom-com?
It's a rom-com. It's an Adam Sandler rom-com. Him and Jennifer Aniston.
Oh,
Brooklyn
yes, I have
Decker.
seen that. That's not. Yeah, that's not a bad movie. Okay.
It's
Did your
just-
wife
it's-
make you
it's-
watch that, or you just love
Yeah, yes. But we both really like it. It's just we laugh every time we see it. There's so many movies that fit that category. You know, there's
Yeah,
cause
okay.
sometimes you want to watch action. Like I can fucking put on The Expendables. You know, I can watch any Terminator except for Terminator
yeah.
Genesis. I hate that one. I fucking hate that one. But
Have you seen the new one?
yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it. Yeah.
I love how he's like, I told her, don't do drapes. That's a bad idea. It's like they turn him into this crazy guy. So if I just watched The Fellowship for like the 1000th time the other day. So that's my life right now. Okay, well, good answer. I'll just, you know what, Jay? Sometimes you just got to go with it, you know?
So there you go. I wish the sound effects worked. I'd play one of those right now. I could always add it in post.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want to ask me one now?
Yeah. So do you feel that today's politics have become toxic in general? And this is from Chris Nestor, by the way.
Okay. Now, can I? Okay. See, I don't really like to talk politics.
Me
I
either.
feel like and it's a tough question. So how about this? How about I ask you? How about we take Chris's question and we kind of put a spin on it and say, okay, maybe things are toxic in politics right now. But how about this? If you could single-handedly choose anybody, okay, alive, dead, or a fictional character to be the next president of the United States,
Oh, this is good.
who would you choose and why? And you know what? Maybe you pick somebody that's not going to make it toxic. How about that? Boom.
I'm gonna pick
Bob Chat.
Arnold. I'm gonna pick Arnold
HardParking.
Schwarzenegger, and I don't know how good of a job he did in California.
Are you?
I am, because he has the experience at least.
Okay. Wow. All right.
And I'm not gonna say
now
Morgan
you-
Freeman because that's easy for people to say.
I
Just
love
because he
Morgan
can
Freeman.
read super slow doesn't mean he's fit to be president.
Do you ever want him to just narrate your life, though? I think about that all
No,
the time.
I don't want him to narrate my life.
Why? Why not?
Because people tell me that I should be the next Morgan Freeman with this fantastic voice I have.
You do have a very sultry voice. I'll give you that. I will give you that.
Then
It's
Jay
smooth.
sat down and did the hard no parking podcast.
Yeah. Yeah. The first time I met Bob from Bob Chat, I thought, there's a tall drink of water.
You know what? You know
is
how
that
that reminded me of it? It didn't remind me of Morgan Freeman. Remind me of Forrest Gump. So I would like,
Forrest Gump?
maybe
Yeah. I was trying to go for a Shawshank, but it didn't work. Anyways.
me too.
Okay,
And I was probably way off. So who
Okay,
would you
this is
pick
what we do.
so what's the guy who runs, what's the figure who runs Canada? Is it a president or is it something else?
So we have a prime minister in Canada.
Okay, so who's
we
your
have
prime minister if you can just pull anybody out of your butt?
because I hate the guy we have now. If I could pull anyone out of my butt to be prime minister, I would like to pick someone Canadian. Obviously, because they need to be Canadian. You know what? If they could be alive or dead, I'm gonna say
Celine
either
Dion.
Rick Moranis. No, she's French. We don't want her.
Oh, I thought she was Canadian. Oh, who is it? Is it that chick who says hello?
No, Celine Dion is Canadian, but she's from Quebec.
Okay.
Though.
All right.
So she's French Canadian.
All right. My
And
bad.
we'll talk more about the whole Anglo-French Canadian dispute at another day and age. Basically imagine you had a state in America that spoke a different language than English, and they tried twice to secede from the United States.
It's called
How would you
Texas.
feel about Texas? Well, Texas is basically its own country. Texas has the largest air force. They have a bigger air force than the United States Air Force does. Anyways, I'm not going to pick Celine Dion because, I mean, as much as my heart will go on, and I'm sure hers will too, she would not be a good prime minister. I would like to stick with Canadians. So you know who John Candy is? Obviously.
I do. Yeah, we all know who John Candy is.
Yeah, he's a goddamn legend.
Yes.
So I live in London, Ontario, which is very close to a place called Kitchener, Ontario, and they have a massive Oktoberfest celebration every year. And obviously, before his passing, he used to be like the mayor of Oktoberfest. So imagine John Candy and like lederhosens, with a big sledgehammer knocking the cork off the huge fucking cask of beer every year, starting the opening of Oktoberfest. Like my dad told me, it was just unbelievable. He's gone and seen it. It's R.I.P. So John Candy, salt of the earth guy. I think he would make a great prime minister. Who doesn't love John Candy or Rick Moranis even?
I feel like you
Rick
guys have
Moranis
more
is
fun with beer than we do. And by the way, Rick Moranis just got sucker punched. Did you see that?
Dude, I saw that. Yeah, and that's some bullshit. He finally came back. And do you know why he was out of the spotlight for so long?
Because
So
he
what
got
happened
sucker
was
punched before?
no, well, unfortunately, no. But it's because his wife actually was diagnosed with cancer. His wife passed away, so he stepped away from Hollywood to raise his children. Isn't that what a great guy,
What
right?
a great guy.
And then somebody's gonna go. What a great guy, buddy.
What a great guy. No
Jesus
wonder we
Christ.
didn't get Honey, I Shrunk the Kids Part 5.
Dude, they're making another one. He's gonna come back. But yeah, so Rick Moranis as well too. And actually, I saw a thing that the Prime Minister has assembled all Mounties to protect Rick Moranis, or something like that. Something ridiculous. I don't know. I feel like sometimes Canada's a joke to America, but
Hey, I got one more. I got one more on my end for you. Because the other two are car related.
And don't ask me a car question.
Yeah, you told me you don't know shit about cars. You know the difference between bags and coilovers?
Sorry, bags and what?
Yeah, okay, never mind. All right, so then this last question comes from Nate Smith, USA. Super good guy, doing good things. He's done a lot of work for Ford. He's worked for like a media company. They do like a lot of these commercials and shit. And he's super stand-up guy. So Nate, I don't even think you listen to the podcast, but if you do, thanks, brother. The question is,
Nate, listen to the podcast.
Oh, yeah. Also check out this guy on the phone, Bob Marshall or something. He likes to kill animals and make beef jerky. And he also has a podcast called the Bob Chat Podcast.
Thanks, Jay.
You're welcome. I got your back, dude. So
brother.
This is a good question. What keeps you motivated through rough patches?
Oh, geez. That's a tough one. I think for me, I mean, I don't want to be cliche and say like my family, obviously they do, right? But you know what really helps us up here in Canada? We legalize marijuana, so that seems to really help us a lot.
So like everywhere, I mean, it's not Providence. It's a province thing. It's like everywhere.
No, it's like federal, across the board, dude. The entire country, marijuana is. I can literally go on my phone right now and I could order weed to my door. That's like Uber Eats for weed. It's like, some guy on a bicycle will show up at my house because it's legal though, right? It's not like we're doing illicit drugs. Like it's, the government says, hey, you guys want to get high? Go to town. So
are there any restrictions on that? Before we get back to the question, are there any restrictions?
Yeah. So in Canada, you're not legally allowed to smoke cigarettes, like in any buildings. And you have to in Canada, you're not allowed to smoke cigarette within 9 meters of a building's entrance. But so basically the law is that anywhere you can smoke a cigarette, you can smoke marijuana. So I could light a joint up and walk down the street downtown of my city, just walking down the street, smoking a joint, no problem. But then obviously it's the same with alcohol. You can't operate a motor vehicle. If you get pulled over and you're high, you're going to get a DUI. But for the most part, it's as long as you're not hurting anybody and you're not smoking at playgrounds or in a car or inside of a building, you're good to go, man. That's it.
So it's the weed that keeps you motivated through rough patches.
Well, I guess so. I mean, I don't want to say that I'm. Now you make me sound like
I don't think weed has ever motivated anybody.
Yeah, well, now I sound like a dependent marijuana user. Like, I need weed to get through my life. But no, I mean, I just wanted to try to get that in there somewhere. But no, it's what motivates me, I guess, would be just the fundamentals of what I want to do with my life. Like if I want something, I got to work for it. I got to keep going. My friends, my family. I got 2 cats. I love my cats. I don't. Just the things that I love and what I like to do. It's like there's a lot of shit I like to do.
You got shit to live for.
Yeah, exactly, and that's it. And if you don't, then and a lot of people don't, which is unfortunate. But hopefully those people can, find some help and can find something to want to live for and to help them get through it. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good question. It's a tough question though. But I think as long as you have a goal and you have things that you focus on and you have things that you strive to do with yourself and your life, then I mean that's all you got to do is just focus on those things and go to town.
I think for me, what motivates me through rough patches is I think the fear of failure, and it could be a fake fear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I know I've been in worse places in my life. No matter what life throws at me right now, I've been pretty fortunate that I haven't had to deal with anything other than superficial issues. Like this year has been absolute hell for a lot of people. At least down here it has. Down here as in the US of A. So when I was unemployed for most of the year, it was okay because I knew that I was one of like 30 million people that didn't have a job. So it's like you don't feel like a loser. You don't feel like you're unemployable. You know what I mean? And then it just gave me time to do other stuff like work on this podcast and eventually build up enough confidence to ask you to come on the show.
Oh, come on. You're a modest guy. You're so modest. No, you do an amazing job. And I appreciate it. And I relish in the opportunity to come on your show, man. It's great. It's awesome. And honestly, dude, even if we weren't recording this, I would have loved to just have a phone call with you. Like,
go on.
You're a great guy. And what?
Go on. Yes. How can my listeners find you? Like, where can we reach? Because we were talking earlier. You don't have a Twitter, and bless you for that.
Yeah, I know. I wanted to get one, but you've totally turned me off of that.
No, don't get it.
If I want it anymore.
Don't get Twitter.
Okay. Don't at me, anybody. No, but yeah, if you guys like it, it's a comedy show. We shoot the shit. We have a good time. Obviously, Jay's our biggest fan, number one fan, or at least our biggest spar.
Do you have 5?
Anyways,
yeah.
Do we have 5?
Do you have 5? If I'm fans? One, so listeners, what we're trying to do is we're trying to get the Bob Chat show, the Bob Chat podcast, at least 10 listeners. And I'll say something about your show. And it's the same thing I told you before. When I listened to the first time, I was like, this sounds like a morning radio show. Like, this is the perfect thing to listen to first thing in the morning on your way to work, when you're sitting at your desk, when you're fucking tuning in. Morning show on satellite radio because there's some language and some adult content, but it's just a fun, good time. And it's just something that you like to hear in the morning. And it's not full of a bunch of crank calls, and stupid shit like I hear on a lot of other radio stations, no matter where I'm traveling.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that. And I mean, we try to give it like a real deal. I mean, it's basically just a couple of buddies sitting around having a good time, shooting the shit, and and cracking jokes, and that's what it is. So. I appreciate that, man. It means a lot. And we're on Facebook, obviously, at Bob Chat Podcast. We're on Instagram at Bob Chat Podcast. We're on Spotify. We're on Apple Podcasts. YouTube. We got a whole bunch of stuff. So we do the podcast, which is just audio, but we also have a Bob Chat Podcast network. So we kind of we have a number of revolving like short internet shows. So that's on the YouTube. So basically search Bob Chat, one word, and then podcasts, and it's all over the place. So if you guys have a chance, check it out. It'd be awesome.
All right, Bob, thank you for joining the show, man. You're the realist.
No, dude, you're the realist. Don't even say that, buddy. You're the realist. All right, you want me to give you one more A before I go, or what?
Hell yeah, I want to hear this. Multiple A's.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah, you got her, buddy. Oh, Jesus. Oh, actually, Jay, I want to ask you one more quick thing because I was thinking about this earlier. So now when you go to get a coffee and you want to get 2 creams and 2 sugars in it, what do you say? 2 cream, 2 sugar?
Let me get a large coffee. 2 cream, 2 sugar.
Yeah. So in Canada, we say double.
Double. I don't think they would know what I mean when I order that. And I drink coffee a lot, and I drink cafe Americanos as they are.
Yes.
But when I go to McDonald's, that's the only time I get like a regular coffee, typically a large, and I'll say like 1 cream, 1 sugar, 2 cream, 2 sugars. I think if I said double, I would confuse the hell out of them.
Yeah, so that's a total Canadian thing. So if I go to a coffee shop and I say I just want 1 cream, 1 sugar, I say I want a large regular. If I want a 2 cream, 2 sugar, I say I want a large double. If I want 3, I say triple. So yeah, I knew you guys wouldn't say that because I've gone to the States and I've been like, oh yeah, let me get a double. They're like, what are you talking about? So
like it's too early. We don't. Lunch isn't open yet. We don't have no fucking burgers. Besides, you want a double, you got to go to. I think is that Wendy's or Burger King. Like, who has the double?
Yeah, where is that? McDonald's, or they have the McDouble?
No, we don't have there's the double cheeseburger. I don't think we call it the double.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? It's like Canada's so different, man.
I just Googled it. A double is In-N-Out.
So that's actually a burger down there.
Yeah, so In-N-Out is, and people are going to hate me for this. I know what
In-N-Out is.
It's the most overrated fucking burger place in the entire world, In-N-Out. Their burgers aren't good. Their fries suck.
How's Carl's Jr.? I've never had it. I hear it's good though.
I'm a fan.
Are you? Okay.
I don't go
well,
often.
I want to try one day.
Carl's Jr. and Hardee's is the same. Depending on where you are in the U.S., you may see Hardee's, you may see Carl's Jr. They're the same. It's good. I mean, I'm not going to look for one when I'm out on the highway doing a road trip. Like, oh my God, I'm so hungry. I wish I could find a Carl's Jr. All right, man. Thank you for coming on the show.
Really, yeah, dude. Of course, anytime. I hope that you want to come on my show sometime too.
Yeah, anytime, man.
All right, thanks again, guys, and you guys have a great day, eh?
Again, I want to thank Bob Marshall for being able to come by and do the Q&A segment with me. You guys got to check out his podcast. A lot of fun. That's the Bob Chat Podcast. All ran together one word. Special thanks to Jen, Simply Jonesy, and Alex Gamina at Alex Gamina. All ran together. Check the episode details. The links will be in there. Still trying to run down Noel G. So he'll be coming up hopefully in a future episode sooner than later before the end of the year. Have a few other special guests lined up. Try to get them on before the end of the year. I want to thank NSX Channel as always, Kuya Automotive and higher quality detail. Special thanks to Warriors Collection brand. I want to give a special shout out to Shaping Success with Wes Tankersley, Wake Up with Wonder with Jason B. Godoy, Limitless Possibilities Podcast with Zach Johnson, and See Through It Podcast with Brian Sales. If you want to email the show, you can hit me up at hardparkingpodcast@gmail.com. You can follow me on Instagram, NA2NSX, or JTravels. If you like the show, please rate and review the show in Apple Podcasts. So if you're listening to this on Apple, I need more reviews. I need more ratings so I can climb up the chart. I can't grow unless you tell the world how fantastic this podcast is. So let's do this. Let's grow this thing together. Shut up!